today we're going to go and see Russel Cotes House, which is a museum. It's also supposed to be quite haunted because it's it was home built for Annie Russel Cotes by Merton Russel Cotes, and their spirit is still supposed to linger here. And there's a few objects here that might be of interest to us.
Can we go on another adventure then, Craig?
Okay.
Let's go and find out what
Russel Cotes House.
Yep. If it's good enough for Queen Victoria, it's good enough for me.
Here it is, the Russel Cotes Art Gallery and Museum.
Facebook
Well,
showing the art.
Merton, his name was.
Yeah.
Merton and Annie.
I don't think they ever had children either.
Didn't they?
No.
Yeah, I know it's Merton and Annie, and they were obviously avid art collectors. But he bought this for his wife Annie as a present. But
They didn't live in there as such.
I think it was more of a leisure place.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's a leisure place. It was sort of the ideal seaside home, really, at a time when the seaside was a big thing. I mean, they died in 1930s, these guys, apparently. Both of them quite close to each other on the looks of the dates of them. Here we are.
Pass the salt, please, Craig.
So this is supposed to be, like I said, it's Merton and Annie Russel Cotes, and it's supposed to.
Did you say Russell Crowe?
Russel Cotes. Yeah. And they're supposed to be, their spirit's supposed to linger here.
You can feel it, can't you?
Yeah. And yeah, if you look around, there's a few objects around
can
here
feel
that they
like
say are
coming
particularly
downstairs.
spooky. There's supposed to be a
Let's go into the bedroom.
yeah, there's supposed to be a sort of a weird, sort of a bit suspect cherub. There's a Carly here somewhere, and there's some sort of crocodile instrument that's supposed to be a bit weird. Let's go and have a look.
There's a grey lady there, Craig.
Well, what I'm going to show you next is a death clock. This represents time and death coming to people, but also it was known as a death clock because the people, the gilders that used to make it, used to have to use mercury to make them, and most of them would die young. That's why they called it a death clock, because they died of the mercury poisoning. That's definitely something I'd like to have in the studio.
Well, hello.
Now this is another one that they say is one of the spooky objects in the place. It's a pretty weird looking angel. Looks a bit odd with its face, and there's a particularly spooky, weird look, they say. They often bring people here at Halloween and have a look around this place and talk about the spooky objects. And this is considered one of them. He does look a bit suspect, don't you think, Jay?
It looks as if its eyes are following you around, doesn't it?
Well, he's got a look on his face, sort of a little bit odd, bit mad, bit mad.
Mischievous. If you look at some of these fertility things, mother and child, you notice in between the teeth they're all filled in.
That was always bad luck. They used to frighten the cattle if there's a gap in people's teeth, according to some African tribes. It says here, from the outside in, this is called, Please note, this exhibition contains some content that may be sensitive in nature, which some visitors may find disturbing.
Madonna's been here. Madonna's been here.
Yeah. So that's what they're about, is it?
Well, if you can have a look.
I'd have thought they'd have had a few phallus symbols if they were
Well, there is
saying
one here, look. Either that or the carving's not done properly.
Yeah, but where did you see about the teeth then?
Here, look, if you look in...
Because I know that they used to fill the teeth in,
if you look in between...
Knock the teeth out, actually.
No, there's 3 markings in the teeth, if you look, and there's bits chipped out.
I know it's an African superstition, or it was anyway, that if women had big teeth, they had to have them knocked out because it would scare the cattle. I know a lot of women that would scare the cattle, I tell you.
And I know lots of men that would.
You're just going to go and use the loo. All right, don't tell the world. It looks like the sort of loo you go in and you never come out again. One of those spooky doors in the Cluedo house. Well, it's certainly a spooky place. It feels very weird when you walk through here. This bit's particularly strange. Look how confusing it is when you go through. Which way do I go? It really reminds me of a sort of a mystery house, you know. Okay, it's a gallery now. It's amazing, and it always was full of art. But what a peculiar! Look at that strange thing over there. Oh, what we found?
Japan.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? I've been looking for the Kali. Here it is. I found it stuffed away in the corner of a shelf somewhere, which is kind of a bit of a shame, really, since this is obviously taken from a temple. Kali has severed heads and severed limbs as a necklace, actually. So that's the heads of the devotees torn away in their devotion. Again, very nice setting for a bedroom. This must have been the kids' room, I guess. So where's Jane? Where you gone, Jane? I've lost you. Oh, it's like a maze, isn't it?
It's like Botticelli, and there's angels and seraphims up there.
And there's a death face too, death masks of a famous... there's a death mask of some famous Victorian playwright or actor.
Nice.
Now this is a spot you can actually sit, Jane.
This is lovely.
Let's take a seat here for a minute. I can see why they say their spirits still wander this place. I mean, you would, wouldn't you? It really has got it's got the feeling of
It's got the atmosphere, isn't it?
Wonderful atmosphere.
I'd love to be here at night time, at midnight, and wander through.
Yeah, yeah.
There is a spirit. There's somebody that used to play in the Shakespeare plays.
Yeah,
I
isn't
think
the
they've
death
got all
mask
these
is through there?
costumes.
Yeah.
That's where they should
we can
go
and
there.
we can go and have a look at that. Yeah.
Let's go
Unless you
now.
want to sit here for a bit. This is nice.
No, we'll go see a death mask.
Okay. And I think it's through here. Through another little corridor here. Ah, here it is. This is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the bit where's death mask of somebody or other, wasn't there? Next to the guns. Henry Irving. or Irving.
Irving.
Irving it would be pronounced, wouldn't it? Henry Irving. So he was the Sir Henry
inspiration
Irving.
behind Dracula.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us, Jane, what was that?
He also reputed to be the inspiration behind Dracula, which was written by stage manager Bram Stoker, and this is all his costumes here.
So this is the original Dracula, folks. Here we are. You look at this, the original Dracula. And they say they get a lot of weird events, or it says on the website that they got a lot of weird stuff going on. What did you think about today then?
I really enjoyed it actually. I could feel the energy upstairs, especially when we went to Annie's boudoir. Beautiful things in there. And I felt somebody passed us. You could feel the energy, and it felt as if they approved of us going around. It wasn't a creepy building. It was a building of love, because he built this building for his wife's birthday.
Well, if you enjoy my shows here and you enjoy reading my books and you enjoy my work generally, you might like to join me on Zoom, because perhaps you'd like to open your own psychic powers and discover and awaken your spiritual potential. So you can join me now on my transformative psychic workshops, which are on Zoom. Group sessions on Zoom. You will learn to meditate. You'll learn to develop your psychic skills. You'll learn to open your spiritual powers, and I'll share with you my knowledge of spiritualism, plus my knowledge from the East, from India, and the things I've learned over my years. And together, perhaps, we can navigate this troubled world together. We can share our feelings, our thoughts, our hopes, our ambitions with clarity and purpose. So can join me. Click the link below. It's in the description of this video. Spaces are limited, of course, but join me to unlock your psychic and spiritual potential.